Hey everybody, welcome back to Drug Talk. As always, I'm your host, Garrett Campbell. In today's video, I just wanted to give an update on my status with bipolar disorder in terms of medications and how I'm feeling, where we're going in the future here. Just where it's been a little while since I've given you an update. So this is going to focus mainly around medication and kind of a strategy of how we're moving into the fall in preparation for winter. So I had my first appointment in about 6 months with my psychiatrist. We had to miss an appointment due to his scheduling. But anyway, I got into the appointment and we made some medication changes. I'm just going to go through those right now, just going to give you an update of where I'm at. So first off, lithium still at 1,050 milligrams. That's kind of the mood stabilizer, the gold standard for bipolar. So I'll continue to take that really probably for the rest of my life indefinitely. One change that we made was we actually got rid of Zeldox, the antipsychotic, and replaced it with loxapine. So if you watch my other videos, especially my favorite medication video, my insomnia video, I talk a lot about loxapine, but I've always had loxapine as an as-needed medication. It's a medication that I've used in the hospital when I was fully manic, and it would bring me back down to a normal state. So I asked my psychiatrist when I was leaving the hospital about 2.5 years ago, if I could have some, just to have as needed in case I ever felt off, and I could take it to help me get a good sleep or just help me kind of level out. So I was using that a lot lately, which kind of put me in a position where I was using two antipsychotics, both loxapine and Zeldox, which in terms of long-term side effects, using two antipsychotics may be a little bit harder on my body, so I didn't really want to do that long-term. So I explained to my psychiatrist that I'm using loxapine very frequently and wondered if we could drop the Zeldox and just use loxapine 10 or 20 milligrams nightly, so replace the Zeldox. He agreed that because I was using it so frequently anyway, and it works well when I'm in the hospital, it may be better for coverage, and this way, like I said, it would take away the prospect for long-term side effects from using two antipsychotics together. Another thing was I didn't really feel like the Zeldox was covering me as well as loxapine would, because about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I did have some symptoms of mania, and I was still using all my medication, I was still sleeping well. There was no reason for me to kind of experience those symptoms, but I did, so it broke through the Zeldox. So that made me kind of nervous, and I don't really feel like Zeldox is the right medication for me. It may be for some people, I just feel like loxapine works better for me. So we're going to stick with the loxapine. In terms of sleep, I do have the Zopiclone, usually using 7.5 milligrams or 15 milligrams nightly, but now that I'm using loxapine nightly, I don't really need the Zopiclone as much. So some nights I won't use the Zopiclone at all because loxapine does have a sedative effect. So it's kind of replacing the Zopiclone, but I do still have a supply in case I need it. Looking at anxiety, my anxiety has been great throughout the summer. This is, the best time of year for me. I often think to myself during the summer, why can't I just feel like this all year? I think towards the winter, and obviously it's a lot different than summertime for me. But in terms of anxiety, I have not used clonazepam in months now. So everything's going smooth. Work is going well. Actually, I should share this now. I had my child in June 19th. So she's a beautiful little girl. Very, very happy about that. Still a little bit nervous because I don't want to, get too excited, get too riled up, not be able to sleep, and then end up in the hospital and not able to help and kind of do my fatherly duties. But yeah, so she's very healthy and everything's going well with that. And it's just more added motivation to stay healthy. So now, even though I said I'm feeling well at this time, one medication that we're going to reintroduce that I made several videos on in the past is Wellbutrin or bupropion for depression. So my biggest thing is that in October, when the clocks go back and it gets darker earlier, that's when my depression really kicks in. So there was a couple years where I waited until October, waited until the depression kind of set in to use the antidepressant. As many of you know, it takes about a month or even longer to reach maximum efficacy with an antidepressant. So this time, I'm going to start Wellbutrin. I actually have my prescription now, you just have to get it filled. But I'm going to start Wellbutrin, 150 milligram, Wellbutrin XL, in the next few days. And then when September comes, I'll start 300 milligrams. So hopefully if I'm stabilized on 300 milligrams, moving into October, the depression won't be as much as a thing. But if it is, I'll still have room to move from 300 to 450 milligrams, which worked well for me last year. But this time, starting it all earlier, I hope it'll kind of cover me and prevent the depression altogether. So that's kind of where I sit now. I just wanted to give you guys a brief update video. So I had my child, everything's going great with that. Added motivation to stay healthy. Still using lithium, still have Zopiclone for sleep, but don't need it as often because I have loxapine, which is also a sedative. Like I said, we replaced the Zeldox antipsychotic with loxapine antipsychotic. And I still have clonazepam as needed, but haven't needed to use it in quite some time because everything's going so well. So I just wanted to share that update with you. As always, if you found these videos kind of helpful in terms of following somebody through their course of therapy, just let me know if you'd like to keep seeing these videos. They seem to do pretty well, and people seem to respond to them quite well, so I'll keep making them here and there. But as always, if you want to help grow the channel, remember you can like the videos or share the videos, and there's some links in the description as well. All right, that's it for today. Talk to you soon.